That's really handy, that Facebook share. It's really handy. I haven't got to log in onto Facebook or anything. It's really good. All right, so that's done. Sign out of Skype. Just get some more hot water. So I'll put some socks on. My feet are a bit cold. Sunday stream. I do these streams on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. and on Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. on this channel. So you can tune in live and ask questions through Skype. And my Skype ID is Rebekah Maroon. So I'll do the introduction and then you can call or message me. So normally I'm here at those times, but occasionally I can't do the stream. So just check on my Facebook page or my website just to make sure. I won't be here next Sunday. So I'll post that as a reminder for people. Oh. So So this is all happening in you. What do I mean by that? Well, this is all happening in the nakedness of what you are, in that emptiness. In that nothing. This is all a play of appearances, of form happening in what you are. So you could say this is your dream, but not you as that fake entity, that fake person you feel yourself to be, but you as that nothingness, that which doesn't exist. This is your dream. It's not happening external. There isn't an external. This is all happening in that mystery, in that void. So this dream of someone that happens in humans, you feel as if that is who you are. It feels as if you are that appearance that's moving in time. That you are something changeful. That you are something separate that is moving in the flow of life. And it appears as if that's a reality. It begins to feel as if it's here, a reality, a truth. I am someone in time. I am in life, and I'm moving through life in the horizontal, in the flow. And things bump up on me, happening to me. And therefore I'm at risk of whatever happens, whatever appears. It could impact on me. And so there's all this fear and uncertainty about what to do, making the right and wrong choice. All these things that are linked to that sense of someone, of being someone in control of life. But it feels as if that is you. That you are something appearing. And what this awakening is, it is a revealing of something which isn't something, a revealing of the natural or actual reality. It's like a change, a changeover happens, or a switch happens. From being that movement in time, that appearance in time, from being something to not being that something. It's not a switch to being nothing, because there already is nothing. It's just a stopping of that illusion of you being something. So that person doesn't then become nothing. It's more of that person is no more. And so there naturally is nothing. There naturally is emptiness, appearing as everything, appearing as fullness, appearing as life. That is definitely different to you being something. I wasn't sure what to call this stream this morning. Sometimes a feeling comes for what to call it, but this morning there wasn't anything particular. One here, it's really weird. I don't know why it doesn't. It doesn't really matter what I've called it, but let's see what I've called it. Oh, that's it. This this is what it is. Because this is what it is. this love you've been looking for, the freedom you've been looking for. It's the essence of this. It's the essence of this. And it seems to get covered up by this story of you in time. This energetical story of you in time. So there was heaven, and then the story of you began. You stepped into hell. You went further and further into hell as this story of you got stronger and more complicated. Like you went further and further out. This isn't a personal blame thing. You didn't do that. That's just what happens. That was created. The story of you that went out, or that is out, longing and looking for heaven, looking for home again. And it's told, come this way, come that way. And it gets confused and lost and hurt and disappointed and frustrated, and all this is happening in this story. The best movie ever, the best creation ever. It's a masterpiece. And then at some point, the message is heard that this is a dream. And that sense of you being someone lost, you being someone looking for home, is a dream. That's happening in home, happening in heaven. But on marches that person trying to find it, trying to understand it, trying to work it out. They believe they can find home or heaven in its story. It can find it as a personal acquisition that it can have. That's the only way you can interpretate it. Is to do with me. I exist and I can find something to feel home, to feel complete. But this is heard and heard and heard and spoken and spoken and spoken. That you is not a reality. It's a dream playing out. So it's impossible for that you to find home or find heaven, because you don't exist as a reality. It's a dream, an illusion playing. That you exist, that you are, that someone is an actual someone, that person is actually real. And there's a resonance with this home. There's a resonance with this message. But while that illusion is still playing, you can only try and claim it and take it into its own story. And try and use it as a measurement. Obsessed with how far it is, how close it is. Is it there yet? Is it not there yet? What's wrong with it? Why isn't it there yet? How much it already knows, how far it is above somebody else, how it knows more than me. It's obsessed with itself, its own story, its own reality. But there's a resonance beyond it. That doesn't care about its story. It can't care about its story. It can't care about anything. It just is. It allows everything else to appear. But it is always immaculate. It not only allows everything to appear, it is everything that appears, but it itself is immaculate, untouched. So regardless of what the human is experiencing, interpreting, feeling, thinking, there's always this freedom. There's always this freedom. And these talks are a remembering of that freedom, pointing to that freedom. Beyond you. Beyond you and your problems, beyond you and your conditioning, beyond you and your traumas, beyond you and your opinion, beyond you and your perspective, beyond you and your knowledge. Beyond you and your preferences. There's a freedom here. And the manifestation of that freedom, I would say, is unconditional love. Not human love, unconditional love. personal love, unconditional love. So this is a waking up to that. This is a waking up to that. This is the most beautiful thing there is. That can possibly happen, is the waking up to that. There's nothing better than to share this message and for there to be a resonance with that and a waking up to that freedom beyond the person, beyond the human. What else is there? Hi Lee, hi Asbjorn. Thank you. Oh, I'm wearing the same cardigan. What's on my head? Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's a nice picture. Oh, amazing intro. Thank you. Ooh. Yeah, so you can message in now with any questions you might have. Hi, Hugh. You hit me again. I keep on not liking certain words like untouched, but I'm hit anyway. Yeah. But that's nice. it would be great if you could just on a brain level see why you don't like certain words that I use. Just out of interest, it'd be great if you could, like, not to tell me, but just for you to understand why you don't like certain words, why it kind of stops you or hurts you in some way, what's being challenged or affected. Let me just change my layout around, Lee. So I have to close my laptop at the end of the stream. So I need to make sure I keep it open. Okay. Yes. Hi.
Hello.
Well, let me just have you muted your stream?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't used this camera for a while because no one's called in, so I'm not sure how I have to change things. Let me just make sure.
No, it looks slightly different.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So it's that camera. I think I used this camera's microphone for this as well. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Hi.
Hello. I know I've asked this before.
Okay.
Oh, for some reason it's repeating my voice, which is a bit distracting, but never mind, I'll persevere. Just this, it seems like what I'm experiencing is different from what you're experiencing. Like I can see what I can see and you can see what you can see.
Yeah, but so,
how do you see that?
Yeah. How do you know any of that? Like, how do you know what I'm experiencing?
Well, I suppose it's an assumption.
Yeah. So there's a thought appearing about what Rebekah's doing and what she can see and what she can feel and hear.
Yeah.
So that's.
Are you saying that that's not? Well, that's not your experience.
Well, I'm asking you, how do you know that to be true? How do you? You seem very sure that you know what is happening to Rebekah, but how do you know that? What's your evidence to back that up?
Well,
like right now, how do you know that?
I know that I can see the room I'm in, and so I'm assuming that you can see the room that you're in, and that that's not the same. And that just seems like obvious, something obvious. And I don't know why that should be a problem, but it feels like for some reason it is, like it contradicts what you're saying, but does it? I mean, do you not think that I'm seeing something different from you?
Well, I used to have that feeling like there were other people that had different realities. So I know that my next door neighbor is now having a different experience to what I'm having. That was so true. That was the reality of how things were, a fact, without question. But then it's like, my experience isn't that. That's only a thought or an idea. And it has to be seen so clearly. What's happening is this. And in this appears a thought about others. But that isn't that thought about others or outside isn't an actual reality other than a thought, a picture being painted here.
Yeah,
and that goes for everything right now. You can imagine everything. So you can imagine the world and others and outside and upstairs, and you can imagine it. But it only can be an imagination appearing here.
Yeah.
So there's no actual truth or reality to it other than that picture appearing now. And so in that case, what is true? What's actually happening? And where are your problems?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the room I'm in, and I can see a picture of you in your room, and that isn't a problem. That is fine. But I suppose I mentally know that you must be seeing something different from me.
Yeah, it's just a change that happens where your experience is more direct and is more the reality than an imagination. It becomes more direct what's actually happening rather than the thoughts about what could be happening or what should be happening. That's like more secondary, and we live in that.
Yes.
As being true, but actually this is a collapsing back into what's actually happening.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And what's happening isn't you seeing me. What's happening is a picture. What's happening is the computer screen. What's happening is the bum on the seat and the hands on the chair. and thoughts and pictures appearing.
So what it sounds like to me, what it sounds like you're saying is that the way that you perceive the world has changed, and now what is important to you, if I can put it like that, is direct experience rather than, assuming things.
It's not what's important to me. It's more like that's all there is what's happening.
Yeah.
And what's happening can totally be a picture of someone else or something else happening, but it's no longer a reality. It's no longer the truth.
Yeah. If I said to you, that's your experience, but my experience is different, how would you see that, what I'm saying?
Right now, nothing.
Is that just like, there's no reality to that for you?
No.
What I'm saying is my experience.
I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
No.
Say it in a different way, or try and.
I was kind of just asking the same thing as I was before, but in a different way.
All right.
Yeah.
The thing is, it feels as if you're convinced there's someone else out there. You're convinced you're talking to somebody else. That seems to be like what you're getting at. You're convinced that you exist. You are someone there, and therefore Rebekah is someone over there, somewhere else.
Yeah, fair enough.
So maybe let's look at who is experiencing this then. Who is now listening and looking at Rebekah or looking at the computer screen. Because all this seeing of me and what I'm doing it's kind of like it's irrelevant, it's secondary. Like it's based upon you feeling like you are someone. Let's look at that. So what's happening now then? What's kind of coming up now?
I suppose just that it's a nice feeling to do that, and it makes things open up, like rather than it being a limited me. There's, when I think who's looking at this, it's not really possible to find that position, and it just becomes, well, there's just everything here.
Yeah.
I know I've been through this before. I don't know why. Like, what comes to mind to ask now is, if I turned up at your door, you'd see me. I know I've asked that before. It's like, obviously something hasn't really changed in that respect.
It's okay, go on. Ask what you want to ask.
Well, I suppose it seems easier to say there's just what's happening and you're just an image on a screen. But if you were literally in the next room, I could walk in there, I could bring my phone with your image in, and I would actually be seeing you. I don't know whether that would be any different.
But isn't that another imagination?
I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose it's no different. It's just still. Could you say it's just another change in the appearance of what is actually happening? And it doesn't sort of prove that there's, two different people as such.
So you think if we're in the same room physically, that there's two different people? That you could somehow get hold of me, what I am. By seeing this form, you could somehow get hold of an entity or a mere person.
I suppose not. I suppose it wouldn't really change anything. There would still just be the experience going on here or wherever.
You can't find anything. You can't find anything. We imagine if I can get this person or this thing or this object or this, you'll somehow get hold of something, and you can't. It'll slip through your fingers. You can't find anything to hold on to. This is emptiness appearing as appearances, as forms, but they're empty. You can't find something in something. So you can't find an entity in the body. You can't find anyone.
There's a lot going on in the body, though, isn't there? Like, there's all the sights and sounds.
It's not really in the body, though. Actually, like it's not in the body. Sound not appearing in the body. If you look now, where's the sound of this voice? Where is it appearing? Is it in the body? Where is it appearing?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to be in the body. It just seems to be part of everything. But if I put my fingers in my ears, and therefore, I'm blocking part of my body, I know that I won't hear that voice.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem like it's in the body.
Yeah. It seems as if we have these tools, so ears, eyes, nose, tongue. They seem to interpret what's happening, the energy of what's happening, energy of sound, energy of light. But they're not happening in the body. They're just I don't know how it works, but these tools are used to receive those things, but they're not actually happening in the ear or in the eye. It's merely sending signals, to the brain to interpret.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that fits into this. I find it complicated because, not just the ears, but you could close your eyes. If you could close down all your different senses, there would just be like nothing happening. It'd just be black and no sound, no sight.
And what would that affect or change? Some humans are blind and deaf, and they can't, see and hear.
Yeah. I suppose it's showing that the experience of what's happening is completely reliant on the body, isn't it? That's what it seems to be.
Well, I don't know. Somebody who can't see or can't hear, or other senses seem to be activated or more louder, so they're more sensitive to different energies or sensations of touch, or so it seems to affect certain things about being human. So they can't maybe hear beautiful music or something like that, or see beautiful flowers or rainbows. But ultimately, it doesn't affect anything. There'll be a different flavor or change to that human experience, but actually, ultimately, it doesn't affect anything.
I suppose there's still a whole experience. There's still 100% experience. It's not like there's a bit missing.
Because this isn't really about the human. This isn't about the human. The human's an appearance in this, whether the human's deaf or blind, or it's not really relevant to what's experiencing this.
No.
The point is, who's experiencing this? Who's looking? Who's hearing?
Would you say that there's just one intelligence?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, one intelligence or one being, or however you want to say it. There's one looker, one hearer.
And so what we, more traditionally, but, scientifically think of as being an individual's intelligence, that's really just happenings, just like thoughts arising, but they're not anyone's thoughts. They're just like flowers growing, or
But what's your experience?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It changes.
Well, the experience changes, so the forms change.
Yeah, but also the perception. Like when you ask me, "Who am I?" then it pushes me into seeing things more in a whole way, where there's just sights and sounds and thoughts are just part of that. But then, at other times, it might feel like I'm more of a solid person with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
So it sort of changes, shifts in and out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's pretty common, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels I feel a bit confused, And I don't mind that. I think that's probably a good thing, because, you know, to start with, there's more definite questions.
Yeah.
But then as I'm looking at what's happening, my mind can't quite grasp what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know, emotionally that feels nice, because it takes the pressure off.
Yeah. It's a lot easier when the mind's not in charge, when the mind isn't the authority on how things are.
Yeah.
Its interpretations of what things are, what it knows, what it understands. When that isn't the primary thing, then it's a lot easier, a lot more relaxing.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebekah. I can't think of anything else to say.
Thank you, Lee.
And I'm aware of the time.
Yeah. It's thanks for calling in. It's been really nice.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you. Bye for now.
Okay, bye. Bye. Oh, that was nice. Oops. Helen. I think you need to look in. You won't like this, Heel, but I think you won't like it. I think you need to look into that hurt. So you're really hurt by teachers. You need to look into that hurt. Like, really, look into that hurt. Really examine, explore that hurt. Let that hurt, like, rip you open. I don't mean on the mind level, but emotionally, so you can release that hurt, because it's a common thing with you, this hurt and anger of teachers, which goes back to your parents, and you're hurt by your parents. You need to look into that and really emotionally address that and release that and let it out. So thank you, Lee, for calling in. It was lovely. Thank you for joining me, everybody. And I'm back on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. So I'll see you then. Okay. Have a lovely week. Bye.